Welcome to the orientation for COMG-153 OE. In this orientation, we'll cover the basics of OE instruction along with information about your course. This orientation will serve for all the COMG-153 OE classes. So let's start off with what are OE classes. OE classes enable students to work at a much more flexible pace than traditional classes. The material for your class is available day number 1, and it is available within Blackboard. So you're able to learn or discover what it is that you need to learn about a unit, do some practice activities, and then take the assessment. You may do some of this from home, but we do have the OE lab available to you many hours a week, normally 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, but please do check the OE schedule for the appropriate semester. And we do have a single due date at the end of the term. It is not on the final day of your class, so please check the syllabus as it is normally a few days earlier to enable time for grading and feedback to students. OE classes enable you the flexible learning environment of coming and going whenever the OE lab is open. You do not necessarily have to wait for when your instructor is available. Those working within the lab should be able to answer most of your questions. Of course, if you have a grade-related or very specific question, you may be recommended to go back to your instructor for an answer. But most questions about how do you format a Word document or how do you add a field to an Access database, those all should be able to be answered within the OE lab. Within the Blackboard course, we have the course syllabus, and I highly recommend that you go through and read that and each policy within, as that is how the course is set up, including the course description and topics, how you'll be graded, and different policies regarding the course. At the bottom, you'll notice a recommended schedule and a final due date for the course. Materials must be submitted by that final due date, unless you've already made other arrangements with your instructor. Those are to be made within 48 hours of you adding to the class if you add later in the semester. Those that are registered at the first day of the semester or within the first week of the semester are to follow the established calendar. Course orientation will take you to, which you're viewing now, and learning modules. That's where you have the information for the course. You can see that the course is broken down into 6 different modules. So for example, we'll click on hardware and software. And within there, you'll see a table of contents. So purpose, why are we learning this? That's pretty much what it states. If I click on objectives, what is it that we'll be learning? Now I can also click on an arrow over here on the right-hand side to take me from one area to the next, or I can click within the table of contents. They work just the same. I've got a lecture video on many of the units. You can watch these from any computer with an internet connection, or if you are in the OE lab, please do bring in or borrow some headphones, just to not create a distraction for other students. Learning activities. This is what you would do to learn the material for the course. So for example, you're reading your text, review Introduction to Computers presentation. So okay, there's a presentation on it. There's concepts presentation, and then there's a couple worksheets that you work on. These are practice activities, and they are not graded, so you do not turn them in. Assessment. These are the graded activities. So you click on assessment, and it's asked for the Module 1 hardware and software test at the front desk. This test is to be taken in the OE lab and is a closed book assessment. So each assessment will tell you if it's taken in the OE lab, which 90% of them are in the course, and whether it's open book or closed book. There are some that will require you to use your text. So once you're complete with that, you go back to learning modules, and you move on to your next module. So for example, Word has 3 different modules with purpose, objectives, activities, and assessment. And that's pretty much how you work through the class. When you do take your assessments, please make sure that you leave adequate time, which would be at least an hour to complete the assessment. So if you're coming in 20 minutes before the lab closes, we're going to highly recommend that you do not take the assessment because your chances of success are very, very low. Attendance. It's taken in a weekly survey, so it must be completed Monday nights for the current semester, and that may change based on different semesters, by 11:59 p.m., and you'll see that in Blackboard. You'll click on the week, which will be the only one available, begin, and then it asks a question. I'm working on course materials during week 1. This includes, but is not limited to, reviewing course material, completing assigned readings, completing practice activities, or taking an assessment. We will answer true, and then save and submit. I have now completed the attendance for week 1. Now do remember that this is the only method for attendance. Submitting assignments does not qualify as attendance. Coming in and talking to your instructor does not qualify for attendance. You must fill out the survey each week. Failure to do so will result in you being marked absent. So make sure that you do that, as different funding sources are linked to attendance. Instructor information you'll find under the instructor information button, and of course that'll be done different based on which instructor you have, along with office hours. The OE lab schedule takes you to the OE lab page. Close out of there. And then the grade center is the grade book for the course. Now, as an instructor role, I do not have privilege to view it, but it'll list out all the grades in the course. This is the only grade book that your instructor is using, so everything's within there. You'll submit your assignment to the OE lab. We do have secured testing, so you're going to take the test in the OE lab and submit it back. It'll be graded. Your final grade will be posted within Blackboard. Comments on your paper, your completed paper, will be put in a file cabinet in your own folder within the OE lab. So therefore, as you work throughout the semester, you can always come in the OE lab and look at your graded materials. Just ask the OE lab attendant which folder yours is in, and then you'll be able to come and go as you please, accessing that information. With the flexible learning environment, there are some challenges for students. You must be self-directed. You must be motivated to complete material. This can lead to trouble for those that procrastinate. We provide you a schedule for success, what we highly recommend you do to complete the class on time. There are some where they wait to the final week and they start their material. Their success rate within the course certainly varies, or is poor based on this. So make sure you work early in the term. You do have those in the lab to help you, so you have the advantages of working independently at your own pace and being able to work through areas that you already know easier while getting that one-on-one face-to-face instruction. So please do take advantage of this great learning environment. That completes the orientation to COMG-153 OE, and please contact your instructor with any further questions.